Hi guys. I don't really film a lot of sit down videos, but for this one I decided to because today I'm going to be talking about UCSB's culture, their environment, the parties, etc. I'm going to go with the whole spiel. First things first, how is UCSB's environment? UCSB is not in Santa Barbara, it's in a town called Goleta. And in Goleta there's this little area called IV, also known as Isla Vista, and that's where all the house parties happen. That's where all the students live off campus, and that's where I live. I live on Sabado. This is where all the shops are. This is where all the food places are. So if you're ever hungry, you need to go get some food, you go to IV. Okay, so it's a super beach town, which means that everyone walks around in flip-flops, tank tops, shorts, barefoot even. Everywhere is definitely walkable. So if you want to walk from, say, your friend's house, everything's like almost a 10-minute walk from each other because everyone lives so close, and it's so packed in IV that you're definitely gonna get sick during October to December. Like that's like the peak of illnesses here. Like it's actually awful. I got COVID one time from jungle juice at an anything but a cup party, and I was dying. Parking in IV is terrible. Like, let me say, like, there's no parking here. If you're gonna try to find a place to park, good luck, because everywhere is like jam-packed. In my driveway, and we live in a house, in my driveway we have 4 cars to 1 driveway, and this driveway is not big at all, and people will be literally squeezing their cars in the tiniest spots just to park their cars for the night. So don't even bother trying parking in IV. Environment, there's a lot of palm trees, a lot of clear skies, except in the winter time it's very cold, so it's really gloomy. But the campus is very old. They haven't remodeled anything, so it's not like a newly remodeled. Everything is very old. Like, I'm talking about chalkboards and old desks that squeak, and when you walk into some of the buildings, it smells really musty, like an old library almost. There's only one new building on campus, and that's called the ILP. It is beautiful. If I have videos, I'll add them into this video, but it is absolutely beautiful. If you want to look for housing in IV, you gotta look 1 year before the school year starts. So I'm talking about like last year, 2 years ago, in 2022, I looked for this house that I'm living in now. So that's how far you gotta look. And if you know people who live in IV houses, you should ask for their lease, because that's how usually it works. The leases are passed down to people they know. So if you know connections, now's the time.
All right, everybody, we're moving on to the next topic, which is UCSB's culture. UCSB's culture is extremely friendly. Like, everyone talks to each other, everyone sort of knows each other, and it's a very easygoing, outgoing community. So if you're an introvert, I'm so sorry, it's gonna be really rough for you. Unless you're able to meet a lot of other introverts, I'm sure it'll be fine, but other than that, it's a very outgoing and party school, as you know. So everyone here is very work hard, play hard kind of environment. So on weekends, you would go crazy, go stupid, and then on weekdays, you would lock in, go to your classes, work hard, go to work, and release it all out on the weekends. So you have to find a really good balance between your social life and your academic life. But this culture in IV is very lively. So there'll be band shows on people's like front yards. There'll be people playing pong or people playing die on their die tables in the front yard. There'll be people sunbathing, playing beach volleyball, surfing, just riding their bikes around, or like riding their skateboards. It's super lively. So you will have no problem making friends here, because you can't be afraid to like start up a conversation with a random stranger, because you never know. You can literally meet your closest friends that way, or you can never see them again. So just take a chance, meet as many people as possible, and if it happens, it happens. And everyone obviously lives super close to each other, so it's really easy to see your friends. I feel like you can just be like, hey, like, do you want to go meet up at the gym? And 10 minutes later you guys are there with your bikes and stuff. So super easy to make plans with people. And yeah, that's what one of my most favorite things about here is that everyone talks to each other, and it's just such a college town. It's very amazing. UCSB is obviously notorious for their parties. It's basically known for the parties. And there is this street that's free called DP. And that's right next to my street, the house that I live in, also known as Del Playa. And it's the street closest to the beach where all the parties happen. And this is where all the frat houses are, where the house parties happen. And that's where people throw big parties. And on the street, it's chaotic. Like, I'm talking about people throwing up on the streets, or people selling hot dogs. People losing their friends. I've lost my friends multiple times because of how hectic it is. It's packed with people. It's like a super big night market, except instead of people selling food, they're selling tickets to go into house parties. Like, that's how it is. It's just super hectic. Usually girls can get into these parties, but guys have a big problem getting in because frat parties usually want to keep the ratios uneven, so they want more girls than guys so that guys can, have more chances with the girls. Yeah, it's really dumb, honestly. But most of these students that go to DP are usually underclassmen, so they're usually like sophomores or freshmen or juniors. And as seniors, we go to downtown, which is super fun. But I'm not a very big going outer, but honestly, it's a really big party school because these bars would literally have buses that drive you from IV to downtown, and it's only like $5 or $10 to get on the bus. And there's just like all these people on the bus, and they have buses back to IV, so it's very convenient, honestly. So getting to parties, it's very easy and convenient, and everything is within a 10-minute radius. Everyone lives super close, so super easy to see people and all your friends. If you ever do go partying, 2 tips I recommend is to never carry unopened cans or bottles on the street. If you're underage, you will get fined, like big time. My friend got fined like multiple times because he was carrying some alcohol on the street, and police are really, really strict here. And also, if you sit on the curb in DP or anywhere in IV, people will try to stop, or police will try to stop you and fine you, which is a big thing. Don't do that. And then also, if you have a fake ID and you're trying to get to downtown with it, it's not gonna happen. The bouncers are really, really strict here, so they can tell if it's fake or not. So don't even try. You're gonna get your ID taken away anyway. Okay, next things next. What are the academics like in SB? So, I think the biggest thing here is that when you have your pass time, it's determined by how many units you have. So depending, if you have more units, you have a later pass time. If you have less units, you have an earlier pass time. So it really depends on how many units you have. Most of the time, I'd say you're never going to get the class you want unless you're super, super lucky. All the classes you need for your major, you're probably not going to get because your pass time is so late, or it fills up really, really, really fast. I think UCSB made a problem of admitting way too many students, and therefore it's hard to get in the classes that you need or want. So good luck with that. But I was an anthropology major, so my classes weren't that filled up so fast. I know a lot of the comm majors or econ majors, more of the popular majors, it fills up really, really fast. But for my major, it wasn't too bad getting all the classes I needed. it was really fairly easy. Anthro majors basically write a lot of essays, and you don't need an iPad or anything to be an anthro major. It's not necessary. It's mostly readings and essays, so I'd say like that was majority of my classes, and it was fairly easy, I'd say. But another thing is, before you check your class, or before you add a class, you must check Rate My Professors, because checking Rate My Professors is really important, because you don't know if a professor's or a because they could easily be the worst teacher of your life. And yeah, Rate My Professors is really important. So I really highly recommend that. If you're planning on becoming a STEM major, or if you are a STEM major, there are a lot of on-campus tutoring places that you can go to called CLAS. It's super helpful. It's basically like a group tutoring, and they have like slideshows, and you do problems with them. I did it for one of my calc classes, and it was really helpful. And then they also have drop-in hours where it's like one-on-one tutoring with people, and usually they're students, or they are alumni or past, I don't know, volunteers or something, but they're super helpful. Highly recommend. So yeah, that's basically my spiel of the academics here. I say it's a fairly, honestly, it's doable. Like, it's not like killing me. It's not an Ivy League, obviously, but it's a doable school. What is the mental health or CAPS like? I'd say it is extremely, probably the bestest healthcare I have ever gotten. I think the people here that help you with mental health or health issues, physical health issues, they're just like top-notch people. I feel like I've seen a psychiatrist basically for maybe 3 years now, and I've never received such great care before or services. So I highly recommend going to student health if you have UC SHIP, which is the insurance at UCSB, or actually in UCs, and it's free, so it just charges you to the insurance. And the CAPS Center, which is counseling and psychological services. It's on campus. Really great spot if you're struggling mentally, or if you need to cope with some past experiences that weren't really great. I was directed to a counselor who was in training, but she was absolutely wonderful. She helped me so much through my first year, because I was really anxious, homesick, and a little bit of depressed, and she helped me so much. I really miss her, honestly, because she had to leave. But I highly recommend finding a CAPS counselor. It's super simple. You just go to the building and you ask, hey, I want to set up a meeting with a counselor, and they'll direct you to one. And it doesn't cost money if you have UC SHIP, and they're just basically the kindest people I've ever met. So I highly recommend that if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think it's really important. But everyone bikes here, so it's really important to have a bike unless you like walking everywhere. I personally don't like walking everywhere. It takes a long time and it's really slow. But everyone bikes here, and it's really easy to get your bike stolen. So get a good lock and don't put it anywhere stupid. And if you don't want to bike and you live really far from campus, the buses are free. It comes with your tuition. So your ID actually has a chip on it, and you just kind of scan it, and it gets you to everywhere you want to go. It's a bit slow. Sometimes the buses do not come. I bussed my whole year last year, and sometimes the buses don't come. Sometimes they're really late. You're late to class. I recommend going 30 minutes before your class every time, which is a hassle. Last but not least, how is the food in Santa Barbara? Let me tell you this, SB is not known for their ethnic food. I feel like the only good ethnic food here is Mexican food. My favorite Mexican place here is probably Zocalo, which is an IV. It's on the more pricier side, but it's absolutely delicious. They have the best birria tacos, and I love them. So it's really close. It's like a maybe 10-minute walk from my house. So I really highly recommend. Another place I highly recommend is Dean Coffee Shop. If you have a car, you can't really get there. It's about a 10-minute, maybe 13-minute drive from my house, and they have the bestest matcha latte, and it's just absolutely amazing. It tastes like ice cream. It just tastes like ice cream. And I get the lavender matcha latte, and they also have the bestest boppy sandwiches. They use this honey chipotle aioli to kind of lather the sandwich, and it's absolutely amazing. I totally recommend. And that is Dean Coffee Shop. Write that down in your notes. Dean Coffee Shop, absolutely amazing. And then another place I really like is Poke Choppa. Poke Choppa is absolutely so yummy. It is so expensive, but I think it's worth it because everything is so fresh. And it's in, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like about a 5-minute drive from my house. You could definitely bike there, but it's way better than Poke Ceviche, which a lot of people have gotten food poisoning and stomach aches because of that, so please don't do it. It's really gross. And then I also highly recommend Hummus Republic in IV. It's Mediterranean bowls. It's like Chipotle but Mediterranean. Super fresh, super healthy. Absolutely adore it. I'm really gonna miss it actually. Blenders, obviously, super easy, simple smoothies, better than Jamba Juice, but they don't use real fruit. But they have way more options than Jamba Juice, and I don't even think there's a Jamba Juice in IV. So Blenders is probably the best. And then there's also Famous Cafe. Obviously, Famous Cafe is a pho place. Not obviously, but it's pho Famous Cafe. You get it? I think their broth is absolutely delicious. Their portions are big too, but the broth is usually so yummy. It's kind of like tangy almost, and it's brewed so flavorful. Now I'm literally salivating talking about it because that's how much I love it.
Okay, there's a couple of things that I didn't add into the video that I just thought about. Also, I look like shit right now because I am sick and I have an ear infection on both sides. So I wrote down like a list of things that I forgot to add, but no one ever talks about this, and I always thought that Santa Barbara meant like beaches and surfing. No, the beaches are disgusting because there's an oil rig in the middle of the ocean, like right next to the beach, and it just pollutes the ocean with tar. So every time you go, your bathing suits get stained with tar and your feet get stained with tar, and all you could do is really get baby oil and to rub it off, and it takes like a long time for it to get off, and it's disgusting. It's like this thick paste, and I never knew that until I went to school there. Don't let them fool you because the beach is really polluted, and sometimes there's a lot of dead animals in the ocean. When I was taking my grad pictures, there was just like dead pelicans and like everywhere, like literally 30 of them on the beach, like one area on the beach. And there's a lot of flies, a lot of seaweed. It's really quite disgusting. No one ever talks about it. But also I wanted to talk about rent. For my double that I had in that house that you saw where I filmed, it was $800 without utilities, and it was honestly really really good because it was a double and it was huge for a house, and that's considered cheap in Santa Barbara in IV because IV is so expensive. I knew people that were paying 1.3 without utilities for a triple, literally a triple, and it's like so small too, and I don't know, it just baffles me. And I lived in San Joaquin Villages my first year, which is like a dormitory for upperclassmen, and that was much cheaper. It was like $700 a month with utilities included. It's just that there's 7 or 8 other people that are living with you, and you're usually in a double or a triple. So there's that. I just want to add this in. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, okay, bye.